Hi there, I'm Dr. Bill White again, and I'm going to talk to you about uprighting some more. And this is the sixth case that we've shown uprighting springs. Now this was done back before we had any bonding and brackets and the simple spring that we use now to do this, and we had to figure out a way to upright a mower, and we used I just designed an archwire, and I call it my Duel Spring Uprighter, for lack of any better name. But it was just incorporated in the archwire, and it did exactly the same thing that our little spring that we stick on the side of the tooth that's tilted. Uh, but it's a lot more complicated to do than that. Uh, I'm going to show you again. I've got another slide here. This is what we used, prior to having bonding material and brackets and things of that nature. You had to figure out some way to do it. One of the cases I showed you, I bonded a spring on the occlusal surface of the tooth and was able to bring one up real good like that. But you couldn't. I had to bond with acrylic, just etch the surface and put acrylic liquid and acrylic powder on a brush and built it, just bonded it with acrylic. It's very poor bonding material, but we got it to work. And this one worked perfect too, so I'll show it to you. Now this lady worked in the office, and I looked at her one day and I said, well, just come over here and we'll build a spring and build you an archwire and see if we can upright this tooth for you. And there's 2 or 3 things to learn in this case now. One of them is that you do not have to grind off this tooth to get this tooth to set up. If you just put some spring pressure on it and move this tooth up, they'll bite together and both teeth will end up with an occlusal surface, something like that. So you don't have to grind off one of the teeth to get it to set up. That's what some people think you have to do that. But you just start raising this tooth up and it'll bump that tooth and it either goes up or this one goes down. But when you get through, I'll show you in a few minutes how this tooth upright. Alright, the occlusal surface of the tooth now is looking down on it. Of course the tooth is leaning quite bad and it comes over like this, and this part has got to come way up and this will stay about where it is. So the crown's going to move back about something like this in this thing. So just watch, and this archwire is pretty touchy to bend, but we designed it and it works, and so we've used it on uprighting teeth like this. And it comes over here, drops down, and comes back in this direction, go around, come back over here, and go around this way, and then come out with it. Now this spring right here, it allows you to lower this portion down. In other words, you can bring it way down here somewhere. It'll rotate out of that. And this spring up here allows you to pull this part of the archwire up like that, you see. So we're going to have to put it in the situation where this tooth is leaning way over like that. I'm going to show it to you on the x-ray in just a minute. I didn't take much we have pictures of the lady working in an office. We just went over and banded what teeth in the arch we needed and set it up. She wanted to see if I could set it up so she could get a bridge put in it. So we put this arch wire in on her. Now, here is how bad that tooth was leaning. Now, there's 2 or 3 other things I want to show you in this. It's a lot of stuff to learn. Now, this tooth had a kind of a pocket down in here. See, this little white tag comes up. And so when this tooth raises up, the attachment is good there, but it's going to look like it's got a void in this area. It will be. There won't be any bone much in it. And the tooth will rotate on something like that point right there as it goes up. Now, when the tooth sets up, and when it first gets up there, you look at it and you think, oh my God, we've got a pocket down here that far. But you don't have a, I'm going to have to start over here. I'll have to go back and put this in PowerPoint again. And there we'll be. Now I have to, my little red pen again. That's a kind of a mess having to do that, but try to show you what's going on in here. Now, alright, the tooth went from that to that. Now the attachment is still the same right in here. And so when this tooth raises up, this will look like there's no bone in here, but if you watch this case, there will appear, it will harden up after a while and the bone fills in that space. A lot of people don't understand that, or they look at it and think, well, they've just ruined their tooth and everything's going to be bad. So we set it up and put a straight arch wire in there and left it for a few months before I sent her to a guy that worked there in the building with us, and he did some bridge work for her, but I don't have any pictures of it. But I do have a little later picture. This is 1975 here, and you can see how bone has filled in around the tooth. And after this, they did a bridge, both upper and lower, for the lady, and she had a lot of dental problems with that. Okay, let's go back and kind of look over how we did this tooth. Now, I'm going to have to just draw this out on just a plain white board here. If you just take the arch wire, it comes out like this, and then you drop down, and then you come here with this, then come over here, and you come up with this, and you come out. Now this tooth is laying down. It's 45 degrees or more, so the crown of it will be down something like this, and you've got this tube on it that you stick. That's on a band now. Maybe it wasn't quite that bad. It is on a band here. Now you take this and lower it down, and this comes down, rotates from this point right here. You can bring it all the way down here. In this spring right, this part, you can bend this wire extending out of it way up like that. And so I had to put that in the tube prior, and then bring this part of the wire up and put it in a bracket on the bicuspid, see. And so this is all down here. I put this on this lady, and I'm not pulling your leg. I didn't look at it again. I forgot all about it. in about 2.5 or maybe it was months or more. I don't remember exactly. The lady was working in an office at the desk, and she said, "Doc White, don't you think you ought to look at this again?" And so I went to set her down in a chair and looked in her mouth, and by George, this is it. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, it set the whole thing up. In other words, just pushed it up against the other tooth and just had it completely finished. So we took this off, and I just took the arch wire off. We just put a straight arch wire through here and left her for a couple of months or something and let the bone fill in. And then she went in and got some bridge work done. So, excuse me. Now that tooth is at least 45 degrees tilted like that. And we hooked that one arch wire up and just a few bands on it. And then set that tooth up completely. Underneath that, it pushed this one up and this one down until it came out looking like that. Now, that's pretty good, but that is a pretty difficult arch wire to just tell somebody to go put one of these in. Now, it takes some pretty good arch wire bending skill to do that, but it can be done. But it's so much simpler like we do now. We just take that and stick a little tube on the side of it here and put a little wire in there with you put a couple deals in it, but you can't try it in with any more activation than this. And then you've got to come in where you can bond a wire on about 4 teeth and bring that wire up and hook it over the arch wire there and do the same blooming thing that we did with this. But back in the days when we didn't have all that good stuff, we had to figure out ways to do things, and we were able to do it. So we let it settle like that, and then she had her bridge work done. So that's the end of that case, but that's a very interesting thing, and to learn about pushing the tooth away and then this filling up the space in here where your attachment is still just like it was to start with. So I hope you look at this and learn a lot of things from it. It is the wire's still a valid thing if you wanted to do it. There's not too many people get a whole lot of wire bending exercise in orthodontic school today. So, but you can do an awful lot with if you know how to bend and torque and put tip and in and out, and you can just do darn near anything you want to with teeth if you learn how to bend the wire. So thank you for looking at this, and I'll hang up here and pass this on.